Hey everybody, welcome to What Culture. I'm Scott and I just saw Solo last night and it's a movie worth talking about. We're going to have roundtable discussions and there's going to be spoilers to break down. There are cameos in this movie that could be spoiled in a single sentence. There's all sorts of stuff to be talked about. Now, one of the things that a lot of the fans are going to be picking up on, because the general mentality with Solo is that it obviously needed to prove itself, and in many different ways it was an opportunity to address maybe past mistakes or ways to go back into Han's character and flesh certain things out that would retroactively change the way that we look at the other movies. Now, one of the things that happens towards the very end of the movie, and this is what I'm going to say, spoilers, obviously spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers for the movie, stay away, although it's not anything that's, well, yeah, it's a big spoiler. So basically we get to the end of the movie and, spoilers again, Beckett's betrayed him. You probably saw that coming because he says it in the trailer. So Beckett betrays Han Solo and we get to the point where he has to have a final showdown with him, and they're face to face on the edge of this beach place and they go to do, the standard Western guns down kind of thing. And Beckett's basically talking about, if I get the chance, I'm going to kill you. And before he can finish that sentence, Han just shoots him. Han shot first. So this is the first time that we've seen anybody kind of address this, and everybody knows the fan backlash to the 1997 re-release of Episode 4, where George Lucas thought it would be a great idea to change the meeting with Greedo and make it so that Greedo shot Han first, and that somehow made his character better or more morally superior. I don't know. I never really got it. I always thought it was ridiculous. I always liked the idea of Han being the guy that would shoot first to survive. And so basically this, says to the fans, from Disney's point of view, we got you. We know. And we wanted to put something in here that would not necessarily retroactively change Episode 4, but for the most part, at least establishes the idea that a young Han Solo would shoot first. The real Han Solo, before the re-release, earlier in the canon, earlier in the timeline, whatever you want to call it, was the guy that shot first. Obviously, they can't undo Episode 4, at least until they release the original version, but it's a way of addressing that thing head on. And even though in the moment, they don't cut to Han being like, I'll always shoot first, or something like that. They don't nail it on, but it's there. And it's worth taking apart, and it's worth maybe just cherishing. Maybe just holding close, if you remember the awful state of that re-release and just how terrible his head looked, jutting back and forward, side to side. It was a mess. So at least we've got something that's a hell of a lot better. And for me, it was one of the many little saving graces that sort of gives Solo a little bit of heart, or a little bit more authorship behind the scenes. We know that this came from the Kazdans, and assumedly he would watch the re-release version and go, "What are you doing, George? Why have you done that to my beloved character?" And he seems to have kind of reclaimed it. So I was a big fan.